femininity mean to you? This.
To me, having strength, honesty, boundaries, and truth.
I think it just means that a woman just being herself and want the respect that she had. Like if you can go do something, just like James Brown can do this and he gets recognized as the king or whoever, I think a woman should be recognized for what they do. If a woman want to get in the street and pick up a drill and drill, let her do that and still be a woman and not say, oh, she want to be a man.
I identify butch, but that doesn't mean I don't have any feminine aspects to myself. You know, femininity is really important.
It's just like this role of like, you know, pink and bows and all that kind of shit that gets put on you when you're little, and everybody talks about how pretty you are, and nobody talks about, you know, oh, what a smart kid, you know, what an interesting kid, what a total imaginative kid. It's like, you're so pretty, you're so cute, or they want you to be pretty and cute and put the dress on or whatever.
Because I think some people really enjoy the idea of being feminine or the idea of being masculine, but there are people who don't. So yeah, I mean the idea is to be able to choose and to be accepted for whatever choice you make.
I'm a girl, and by me that's only great. I am proud that my silhouette is curvy, that I walk with the sweet and girlish gait, with my hips kinda swivelly and swervy. I adore being dressed in something frilly. When my date comes to get me at my place, out I go with my Joe or John or Billy, like a filly who is ready for the race. When I have a brand new hairdo with my eyelashes all in curl, I float as the clouds on air do. I enjoy being a girl. When I hear a complimentary whistle that greets my bikini by the sea, I turn and I glower and I bristle, but I'm happy to know that whistle's meant for me. I'm strictly a female, and my future I hope will be in the home of a brave and free male who'll enjoy being a guy, having a girl like
I've been cloistered in this subculture in San Francisco. In fact, you know, we started this cafe, me and Silas Flipper, who I'm doing a movie with. We've been friends forever. And we started this cafe. That was a cafe, art space, performance space. And we started it so that women would have a place to put up art, and they would have a place to perform their art, so they would know that it was finished. Because I felt like often with women, because they didn't dare to bring it out of their houses, they might be making stuff or painting or whatever, but they wouldn't even know that it was finished because it was never being performed or it was never being shown.
There's something about being an artist that's really just about, it's kind of like having a finger, a big finger, and you get to point at just how you see things. It's like, oh, look at that. You know, and it's like, and then everyone has to look there. And it's like, all that was what you saw. You know, it's not any more important than any other thing in the world, but you know, that simple power is kind of what art is. I think, I mean, that's pretty radical in a way.
Whenever a woman musician changes what she's doing sort of radically, like a folk player becomes a punk player, or a jazz artist decides to do a rock album, it's a strong, you know, message, because someone like Neil Young has always been praised his whole career every time he changed formats, and he was allowed to reinvent himself over and over again. I think women aren't allowed as much leeway. I think Madonna is unusual in that she's reinvented herself so many times, but I think it's through a veil of sexuality that really appeals to people.
White Trash Girls certainly had a more obvious feminist agenda. And that was very specific after a while, after the first one, realizing that there was power in her persona and understanding the response I was getting from girls and women about that work. It became very important to me to understand her as a feminist persona and those tapes as a feminist gesture.
Comics is generally, for as long as they've been around, been a male-dominated field. And it's only been the last 10 years or so that women have actually come up through the ranks and become accepted, and them putting out a book isn't a freakish thing like it was. But I do get a lot of women coming up and saying they're inspired by what I do, they're influenced by what I do, which I, in a million years, never ever thought I'd hear. And it's actually very cool, and it's actually kind of like, wow, I sort of have this responsibility now. So I don't think consciously I do, but I think it's always in the back of my head going, you're kind of doing this for the gals.